actually in the last round, just playing that thin line. Caleb is going heavy into Arceus with a 3-4 line, but is still choosing to play those 2 Galarian Moltres just because of how powerful Malevolent Charge is to get extra energies in play, and how powerful Fiery Wrath can be in the late game to just pick up massive one-hit knockouts, and also, of course, a powerful Dark-type Pokemon to counter the Mew VMAXs.
So I really like the idea here, going for consistency. Again, the Drizzile line, the Inteleon line, and Arceus, just the poster children right now for that consistency. But what's the opponent got? Yeah,
Kyle Andrews is playing a Suicune V deck, and I'm excited to see this. We have not had Suicune.
Finally,
I know.
I've heard the whispers that this deck might actually be the sauce.
Yeah, these players have been, you know, there's some people running around with the Suicunes, and Kyle has decided to go with it. So let's get down to the table. These players are set up, and we're going to get started here very soon. I can't wait to see who's going to come away with the win in round number 9.
Now, again, round 9, players need to win to advance to day 2. Playing very original, very spicy decks, things that we have not seen, I don't think, yet on today's broadcast, but hopefully they'll be able to demonstrate the maximum potential of these lists. It would be a shame if there was just a win dropped because it was, you know, a bad prize pool or a bad, just, you know what I mean? How it would just be so anticlimactic.
So Kyle on the left has prized a Suicune. Does only play 3 copies, but not too bad. 1 copy of that Ludicolo with its Enthusiastic Dance ability. Definitely a solid card, can help you get to those big one-hit KOs on Pokemon like Arceus V-Star. So having it in the prizes is a little tough, but does play 2 copies of it. So hopefully that won't be too big of an issue.
And on the other side, we see the Dunsparce, but without the fighting weakness, it's not going to be a big deal here. And the players are going to be off to the races here pretty soon. The Enthusiastic Dance, when that Ludicolo does evolve, your active Pokemon's attack will get boosted by 100 damage, and that is what Suicune is going to be trying to use to deal those really big hits with the Blizzard Rondo.
So it appears that Caleb is going to start things off, dropping that Capture Energy into play. And I love Capture Energy, one of my favorite cards in the format. I love putting it in any of my Pokemon decks whenever it makes sense for it to go in there, because it attaches your energy for turn, and it also gives you that boosted consistency in the early game of getting a basic Pokemon out of the deck, which is exactly what Caleb is utilizing it for here, grabbing that Sobble, ready to evolve into a Drizzile in future turns.
Once you get the Sobble down turn 1, you know that you're just going to begin this cascade of consistency for your deck. That Shady Dealings, allowing you to grab any trainer card of your choice from the deck, add it to your hand, means that you can pick exactly what you need at that moment. And another quick ball comes through, second Sobble. This activates the synergy further to get multiple evolutions, potentially multiple trainer cards, being able to fish out that evolution incense.
Yeah.
So already off to a great start, and there is the pass over to Kyle Andrews. Turn 1, starting off with Ludicolo in the active, and Sobble comes down with Capacious Bucket. This allows you to search the deck for 2 basic water energy cards and add them to the hand. Look at those classic water energies.
Yeah, I believe from the EX Expedition expansion, dating back to, I think, like 2002, 2003, something like that. Very old school, love to see it, those e-reader borders. Now, Kyle wants to attach to a Suicune this turn, ideally. Get that energy in play, or this actually works too. That Call for Family, the low TAD start, actually a pretty solid option, since Call for Family can just search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon and put them right in play. Beautiful. And you can always get that energy acceleration in future turns with the Melanie supporter. So you don't mind not attaching to a Suicune whenever, you know, if that energy hits the discard pile, you can still have the option to attack.
So both players right now just getting their engines up and running, getting it online. And the Arceus is a really big threat right now, but we still need more energy attachments before any true damage comes through. The Trinity Charge is just for acceleration, doesn't deal any damage on its own.
Right. Definitely less than ideal to just use a Trinity Charge. Trinity Nova is definitely where it is at. And Caleb has a great start. Shady Dealings can get any trainer card out of the deck, just maximum consistency from these Inteleon lists. And this could grab an Ultra Ball, an Evolution Incense, any of those pieces to grab the Arceus V-Star, and then Starbirth can get whatever other pieces that Caleb does not have in hand to get ready to use the Trinity Nova here on turn number 2. This is how you write it up whenever you're planning to play an Arceus V-Star deck.
both players now with a solid start here in game one gives them a lot of breathing room, right? You could see where if you're in game one, round 9, if you're winning in, if you were off to a really clunky start or your opponent had a very powerful start, it could really just shatter your mental state going into those final 2 games. But here, both sides playing it pretty chill, and it allows them to kind of mentally prepare for what is at stake here at round 9 in Salt Lake City.
That first Shady Dealings grabs the Evolution Incense, and I don't believe Caleb had a supporter in hand. So second Shady Dealings can grab the Marnie. A little bit of hand disruption for your opponent. Must have a feeling that Kyle's sitting on some good stuff over there and just wants to, you know, play that Marnie and try to disrupt that a little bit, and then can combo it with a Trinity Nova as well.
Oh, double turbo energy. This is going to be able to activate that attack. So now we're maybe going to see a knockout here, but here comes the Marnie first. Wants to see a little bit more of the options that will be available.
Yeah.
Hands are shuffled, randomized, put on the bottom of the deck.
And Caleb is definitely looking for an Arceus V, wants to put some basic energies onto that this turn. So let's see if there's a quick ball or maybe the Arceus itself in hand. And I do think that quick ball is right there. The new artwork from Fusion Strike. You got 2 options when you're choosing quick ball. You've got the classic from Sword and Shield base set. You could even go more old school to the Diamond Pearl era and use one of those older quick balls. I've seen a lot of players with those this weekend. I'm a fan of this new one, though, from Fusion Strike.
I mean, it's nice and just clean, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I love the way they update the art for all the reprints, and you can really follow the card throughout the history of the game and the history of these formats. But here comes the Sobble down instead, and again, the other Arceus V. This is going to receive that energy, and this is what we talked a lot about a little bit earlier, Chip, is being able to consistently set up, passing that baton, so to speak, to the next potential attacker.
Caleb will use Star Birth, that V-Star power. The marker gets flipped and can grab any 2 cards from the deck and put them into hand. I believe that first grab was the Path to the Peak. Wants to set up the disruption so that Kyle doesn't have access to any Pokemon with Rule Box's abilities on this next turn. Try to slow Kyle down as much as possible.
Yep, get the Path to the Peak in, and the big Charm was the second grab.
Yep.
And so now this Arceus V-Star is completely loaded up. Going to take the prize from this Lotad.
180 damage dealt. Easy knockout there on poor little Lotad. And we see 3 energies grabbed, thrown onto Arceus V, and Sobble sent up right away. I do think I see a Rare Candy plus Inteleon in Kyle's hand, so we could see some big-time Shady Dealings plays this turn.
And that is what you're probably going to need to do at this point. You've got this really huge evolution Pokemon across the table from you, pressuring all of your little Pokemon, all of your little basic Sobbles. They're crying already.
Yeah, that Chilling Rain Sobble definitely looks like it's been through some stuff. So it's going through it, and yeah, definitely crying at this point with how the board is set up now. But Kyle can change things a bit, you know.
Yeah,
with
again, the consistency of this Inteleon line, finding the pieces you need right when you need them is really going to accentuate their power, right? This augmented Shady Dealings allowing you to find 2.
Needs to grab a quick ball, I feel like. Wants to grab, get Suicune in play. I think there is a Drizzile in hand, so that other Sobble can grab something like a Melanie, maybe a Raihan as well. Plenty of Energy Excel options in this list at this time.
Just looking to fish for more, of course. You see we no shuffle just yet.
Yeah, definitely going back in. Yeah, has Drizzile, has the quick ball, actually even has Rare Candy and Evolution Incense. Wait, could Kyle actually get a KO here? How much with the boosted damage from the Enthusiastic Dance? I think it would be getting pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost up to 220, right? The Aqua Bullet.
Oh, no, not with the Inteleon. By using the Suicune here. Can
oh, it does find the Suicune.
Right,
okay.
has the quick ball, grabs that.
Suicune. Can switch that out. Do we have the switch, though?
Can grab it off of this Shady Dealings. You know, if you Shady Dealings for the Raihan, Raihan can get you any one other card out of the deck. It's not quite doing enough damage. I think you're actually 10 damage off, which is kind of crazy. I think you'd be dealing 260, so just one benched basic Pokemon away from making it happen. So Raihan will actually could just go in and attack with the active, but will still attach to the Suicune on the bench and grabs the scoop up net to try to prepare this Inteleon for the next turn to be evolved onto this Drizzile, and also can reset the Sobble to try to be a different Drizzile on the next turn.
So what looked like a really bad situation was able to be turned around just through the pure card searching ability, right, of this deck and this Inteleon line, but now, without the ability to capitalize on this great turn directly with that damage, with a potential KO, this puts things perhaps back in Caleb's court.
This is so crazy. Kyle is literally 20 damage away. Oh, with the big charm in play, it's actually just still out of range. So you can still do a lot of damage theoretically with the Ludicolo, but it's probably not going to be quite worth it. Just getting a solid hit in with the Blizzard Rondo is still not too bad, especially whenever you had no Suicune in play last turn at all.
Yeah, there it is. Damage coming through. Blizzard Rondo. Again, just getting one big hit, forcing Caleb to pivot off of this initial V-Star, go into the next one. Could be the key here. And we see this a little bit from like the Mew VMAX decks, right? Where both their main attackers are very heavily damaged, and so then they lose the ability to safely bring anything up into the active to threaten. But now Caleb has the option to once again construct a very vicious turn. Level ball coming through, looking for more backup, another Drizzile perhaps.
So Level Ball can grab a Drizzile. Shady Dealings can get any trainer out of the deck. And there's a couple of good options for Caleb. Can grab a Sharon's Care, heal all of this damage off of the Arceus V-Star, or could go for a supporter card like a Research to just try to draw through the deck a little bit. And it can be a tough call, right? If you play the Sharon's Care, you heal all of the damage. But if you don't get a supporter, you leave yourself with a bad hand, because Caleb just had nothing else going. So what I think we'll see with Ultra Ball most likely is Inteleon. Shady Dealings can grab 2 trainer cards, and from the 2 trainer cards, we can see Sharon's Care. And it's actually a choice bout. Okay, so Caleb may be leaving themselves with a little bit of a risk. If you don't draw a good supporter off of the prize cards, maybe you're stuck on the next turn. But regardless, healing all of this damage is huge. And you'll also, with that choice belt, be able to get the 2 prize KO on Suicune. So I think it's a worthy trade, even though you're leaving yourself with kind of a bad hand.
I think with the sense that you're in a better position, that you feel that you've bought yourself enough tempo to be able to take one awkward turn like that.
So this is going to work out nicely. Choice Belt boosting that damage by 30, dealing 230 to Suicune V with the Trinity Nova. And Caleb can still accelerate an energy from the deck, throw it onto Arceus and get that ready to go. Or can just leave them in the deck for the Galarian Moltres later, which it appears is the decision that Caleb decided to go with.
And then taking those prize cards as well. Going to get rewarded now. And heading over to Kyle, now that this big KO has gone through on the Suicune, we have another evolution into the Shady Dealings Inteleon. Needs to search for more cards, needs to get something else to pivot to against this massive onslaught of the Arceus V-Star. Again, this chain of being able to consistently return one to your hand, heal all the energy with the Sharon's Care, play it back down, and potentially just re-accelerate energy to it.
Right. So in order for Kyle to get a knockout this turn, it is technically possible. Kyle would need for there to be a total of 8 benched Pokemon on both players' side, and then would also need to rare candy into Ludicolo. If Kyle could do that, that would be 280 damage exactly, which would pick up the KO on Arceus V-Star. But that is a tall order to try to make happen whenever you don't even have a Suicune in play with an energy on it. Shady Dealings can make things a little easier. Can grab the Suicune out of the deck from the Quick Ball, and if there's maybe a Melanie or something like that in hand. I didn't actually see what that grab was on the other Shady Dealings piece, so not quite sure what Kyle does or does not have access to.
And even if you make all of this come together, right, you're taking 2 prize cards. After, you know, having to climb this huge mountain of so much HP,
and your opponent
using
is so
a combo piece of the rare candy Ludicolo.
Melanie was that grab, which definitely makes sense. Can get that extra energy into play out of the discard pile and draw 3 cards. Needs a good 3 cards here.
Scoop up net.
Okay, this is actually good, yeah.
So we can scoop the Intellion from the active.
I think he's got it.
Suicune up, then we can play the Drizzile onto the other Sobble.
Yes, and can Drizzile grab a piece to get another basic Pokemon in play? And that is the missing piece at this point. So Drizzile's Shady Dealings will come in clutch, getting that extra basic Pokemon, and then the Evolution Incense hit as well off of the Melanie. We know that Rare Candy is sitting in hand. So Kyle's going to have access to everything, I think.
The combo is here, just needs to be executed. Here comes the Drizzile.
Yes, Shady Dealings grabs any trainer card out of the deck. Needs to grab like a level ball or maybe a quick ball, something like that. Probably just level and get a Sobble in play. That is excellent. And it's going to be exact math to pick up the KO. Can actually grab a Ludicolo, so you give yourself, or excuse me, a Lotad, so you give yourself the option to use another Ludicolo on the next turn potentially.
Yeah, we just need to get that Ludicolo out of the prizes. Here comes the Evolution Incense.
Yep.
Picks up the final piece of the puzzle.
And Ludicolo dancing into play enthusiastically, ready to boost the damage of Suicune and pick up this massive knockout. What a turn from Kyle. Had pretty much nothing in play, and that is just the power and consistency that Shady Dealings gives you.
And now that you've gotten all of these cards out of the deck, your next top decks, your natural draws just become that much better. Here it is, Rare Candy, Ludicolo, boosted Enthusiastic Dance, second energy attachment. The first one came from Melanie, setting up, crunching the numbers, and that is the KO.
What a turn. That was insane from Kyle. Pulled it all
the most stylish two
oh.
prizes we've seen all day, I think.
And now Caleb is left in a little bit of a more awkward spot because Caleb went to a zero-card hand last turn and has no draw options in this. Oh, no, top deck's the research.
Oh, you...
Top deck the research.
You said that there was a chance of an awkward situation because they didn't grab a support draw off of the Starbirth, but research off the top.
I thought it was a boss's orders, but it's that Celebrations artwork of that Professor Oak, Professor's Research, the classic card. What a grab, what a draw, and that's going to give Caleb just a ton of momentum moving forward in this one.
The ability to maybe stuff this other Suicune, right? Taking away this other big attacker and then forcing Kyle to scramble once again to try to get another attack. But now at the same time, drawing all these cards off of Professor Research, you can just get something else onto the bench that's going to be accelerated now with the Trinity Nova.
And Caleb was eyeing it up in the deck, knows exactly what they need to draw here. That quick shooting Intellion will give you that extra damage necessary in order to pick up the one-hit KO on Suicune to go to just one prize card remaining. Here we go. Professor's Research, discarding the hand, drawing 7 new cards. Needs to find an out to Intellion in order to pick up this KO. Let's see if it's there. Does not hit it. Oh, has a scoop up net, though. Can reset that Intellion, the other one, but can't evolve this turn.
Is it possible? You scoop up net the Intellion, you evolve one of the other Drizziles.
Oh, and with the double turbo energy, the other Arceus is the one that had the basic energies on it. So this one with the double turbo energy is actually only dealing 180 base. So it puts you a little bit out of range. But getting that quick shooting Intellion still puts on a lot of pressure because it makes it so that your opponent, you know, since Kyle has no way to heal that Suicune, they're going to be put in a spot where you can take a multi-prize turn moving forward potentially. So.
And we already see, of course, the boss's orders in Caleb's hand. And if you can get the KO on the Suicune, then any of these small Pokemon on the bench, the Drizzile, the Lotad, etc., will give up that final prize without a fight.
Caleb could try to go for a setup of the Galarian Moltres potentially. Does grab Ultra Ball, and that might just be to get the Intellion next turn, but also could go with that Moltres. We'll see. It does appear that Caleb is planning to go back into the deck here.
You come up for air, evaluate the situation, look at your hand, look at your discard pile, then you make your next sequence to go back down into the deck and find that missing card that you need for the big combo you're thinking of this round.
And we see Caleb is actually playing that Judge, gets discarded right away. That old school Heart Gold, Soul Silver artwork, love to see it. Love to see some of those retro cards getting used and played. So playing probably a pretty similar list to the one that we just looked at before this game from Mitch Nucky.
Wonderful. And again, the data the player base kind of got from the Brisbane Regionals just being put on full display here for the Salt Lake City Regionals. Every single chance that there's a little bit more okay, does this deck beat this one? Did this tech choice pay off? The players are quick to jump on it and use it for their own success.
So this will not quite be enough to get the KO on Suicune. It'll put it up to 200 damage, but that means that Caleb can clean this up next turn with another quick shooting potentially, or could even just spread it to a benched Pokemon potentially this turn. Has plenty of options. No Galarian Zigzagoon in the deck. That would be the one thing that could get you there this turn, but unfortunately Caleb not playing the Goon.
Yeah, just goes for the quick ball, looking for another piece. But now, if there is not going to be a knockout on Caleb's side, that means Kyle's able to just crack right back in, right? Is there a way?
Yeah, Kyle could theoretically get a KO. I don't think that Kyle took the Ludicolo off the prizes, because that makes it a little tough. But Scoop Up Net is a possibility.
Still
hard
damage
to do
on the Suicune comes through. Shady Dealings. Inteleon going to search for 2 more cards. Maybe we're looking for Scoop Up Net if we've got it. Something.
2 trainers. Can I up the Choice Belt? That can boost your damage a lot.
That's going to be plus 30 damage.
Right, to this Arceus V-Star with that. So it almost kind of negates that big charm, right?
Negates the big charm, and then potential to grab 1 more trainer, fish out and fill up this bench, try to get as much of a maximized Blizzard Rondo as you can for this round.
And I like Caleb's decision to not put that Arceus V in play last turn. That gives your opponent a pretty easy target to try and boss his orders and pick up a big KO on, and put yourself in just kind of the back foot type of situation. Kyle having a tough time deciding what to grab off of the Shady Dealings. Can get any 2 trainers. And that's why this card is so good, because it just gives you so many options, but sometimes having all of these options just, it's hard to navigate exactly what you need to pull out a win and pull out a KO.
And then you have to worry about your sequencing, right, to make sure you're grabbing the right cards in the right order, just to maximize the certain percentages of getting better top decks and draws within that. Have we used I don't think we've used Fleet Footage yet.
I can't use it with the Path to the Peak in play, right? So it needs, I don't think even has replacement stadiums in this list, so that's not going to be the option, but I think there was a Melanie in hand. It feels a little awkward to have to throw an extra energy onto a Pokemon that's already got 2 on it, but if you need to draw cards, you need to draw cards.
And that's what Kyle needs, right? We're trying to turn the tables here after taking that big attack. If you can't capitalize on the fact your opponent wasn't able to get that key knockout, then it's just really a massive missed opportunity here in game 1. We've got 3 draws. Is that a Shaman?
That is a Shaman V. What a spicy tech in Kyle's list. That Revenge Blast attack can come in and just deal a ton of damage. A nice little tech plays one grass energy to in order to pull it out when it is necessary.
Yeah, the Shaman V-Star also has that that ability, right, that allows you to heal your bench too. So maybe we're trying to heal the Suicune,
just
make
playing
it difficult
the Shaman
for Caleb to get. Oh, no V-Star.
Yeah, no V-Star.
Terrible shame. Terrible shame.
Yeah, so I mean, Revenge Blast, it does still deal a lot of damage. 60 base and then 40 more for each prize card that your opponent has taken. And we see the way that things are setting up. Caleb is setting up to have taken 5 prizes on the next turn, so Shaman V could really get in there on the next turn, dealing a base of 260. That is that's quite a lot.
And with that, again, Kyle just taking the time to consider all of the options in lines. When you're playing this Inteleon line with so much card draw, with the Suicune, with so much combo potential with the Ludicolo, it's almost like you have your whole deck in your hands at any given time. Scoop Up Net does indeed come through. We know the rare candy is in hand.
Yeah, and I actually think that Kyle has it, if that's what Kyle wants. Can Scoop Up Net, pick up the Lotad, pick up the Ludicolo, and rare candy, put it into play, bench the Shaman, attach the Choice Belt, and boom, you're in. You're dealing the exact damage. Same amount you did last turn, plus 30 base with the Choice Belt, so you're just negating the big charm. And that's the big KO. It is crazy to me that Kyle has been able to pull off these KOs, just barely getting by, it feels like, but has just had the exact pieces to make it happen.
Back to back, stylish, diving deep in the deck, finding all the pieces that you need to put it together.
Jeez. What a turn, what a knockout. 2 turns in a row. Kyle starts with seemingly nothing and finds the exact pieces to just stick around in this game. Now, Caleb is sitting in a position where Quick Shooting can just pick up this easy knockout. It can easily KO this Suicune V in the active, and then just needs one more prize to win the game. So
now the viewers can't see it, but I am just absolutely grinning from ear to ear right now, seeing these plays pull off every time we think that Kyle's on the back foot, finding that miracle play.
Oh, yeah.
And finally, Suicune does go down.
So, yeah, this is happening during Caleb's turn, not an attack. So just using the ability. So Kyle now has to decide what to promote. Going to take a look through Caleb's discard pile, try to gain all of the information that they can, be aware totally of what your opponent could have access to this turn, and make your decision of what to promote based off of that. If you send up something like Lotad, it's pretty easy for your opponent to KO it. Inteleon has 160 hit points, so it's usually going to be pretty safe.
Pretty safe, you say. But is there another like crazy combo that Caleb potentially has in the deck that could make something happen? This seems to me a play where you need to buy yourself another turn. We had the Arceus, the first one, come down in the V-Star with the Trinity Nova, accelerate energies onto the second, but then the second did not have anything to accelerate onto. We talked about potentially setting up a potential Galarian Moltres, right? But it's just we're missing out on the next attacking threat on Caleb's side, and maybe this is the turn where it can be set up.
I think if Caleb has a way to move the active, that they have it. I think I see the quick ball in hand to go search out the Galarian Moltres. Does play one copy of Clara. There it is right there, grabs it, puts it into the hand. So if there's a switch card, I'm pretty sure Caleb has all the options in order to pick up this KO. Plays the Clara, can get any 2 Pokemon or 2 energies out of the discard pile and put them into the hand, and Malevolent Charge could come in and accelerate these energies into play. Is down a Scoop Up Net, that's one of those switching cards. Does play one more copy. Does Caleb have the win this turn? Just one prize card remaining.
Yeah, thanks to thanks to that quick shooting being able to pick up that KO,
right.
leaving you still
has the net
attack.
That's it. Yeah,
has the net.
Yeah,
you're
Caleb
able to
should
move
have
that Inteleon away, get the Galarian Moltres down onto the bench with Malevolent Charge, allowing you to accelerate those 2 energies onto it to set up Fiery Wrath.
Yep. Fiery Wrath dealing more than enough damage to knock out this little Inteleon, provided that there is one more energy card in hand. Malevolent Charge puts them in play. Attach the double turbo energy. That'll work. Scoop Up Net, picking up the Inteleon. The Moltres comes to the active, and Fiery Wrath picking up the knockout, awarding Caleb the win in game number 1.
After such a massive fight back and forth, once again, a big combo from the opponent sets up that Moltres and comes through.
Yes, very well played by both players. Kyle, man, I am so impressed with how Kyle was just able to stick around in that one, having just a much worse board position and able to piece together knockouts turn after turn after turn. That is the power of Shady Dealings, and that is the power of that enthusiastic dance as well.
And it's not just about having access to those cards, but it's being aware that those combos and those lines are even available to you, right?
Yeah.
Here in round 9, the player's been playing all day. This Inteleon deck, I imagine, has been doing similar combos all day. You put your reps in, but you can't slip up here at the finish line. Even though you've dropped the first game, it's still a best of 3. We're shuffling the cards, trying again, and with the just highly skilled showing we've seen so far, I think that, you know, we're in for a treat for this next game.
So with 23 minutes left on the clock, that is definitely something you want to keep in mind. These players don't have access to the exact time remaining in the round, but you have to kind of get a little bit of a feeling, right? That first game went on pretty long. So if things start off and don't look really good for Caleb Olson, I would really like to see Caleb concede this game quickly and try to have time to finish a game 3 potentially. But it's tough to, you know, concede whenever you feel like you may have a chance. And we're still early on, so we'll see what these opening hands look like. 2 Arceus V in the prizes for Caleb.
Oh no,
that's not good.
2 Arceus V means that you're going to lose out on that attacker.
And
it
a
looks
Moltres
like Moltres
less than
gonna have
ideal.
to do a lot of heavy lifting. We're just going to see some manual darkness energy attachments and some baby fiery rats.
Yeah, can Scoop Up Net it out of play to reset it at some point if need be. But thankfully for Caleb, does have an Ultra Ball. So this turn is going to be made just fine. Ultra Ball can discard 2 and go grab a Arceus V out of the deck. Does still have more available, of course, playing the 4 copies, and it has double turbo, so can set up for the turn 2 Arceus V-Star Trinity Nova.
And now with this Ultra Ball, of course, Caleb will be made aware of the 2 that are in the prize pools. The players know their decks back to front.
Yes.
And they always take this nice, deep look when they get the first opportunity to really start forming their strategy. Now that you know that you're down those Arceus Vs, you're going to be a little bit more protective of them when they come down, but you still have to put them into play. It's still your main strategy, but now you are aware of how much is riding on this Arceus V.
Yes, yeah. These Arceus, only 2 available right now to Caleb, so they're going to be very, very important. Has the energy to detach for turn, has a Marnie in hand ready for the next turn. So this is, you know, for prize and a couple Arceus, not looking too bad for Caleb Olson.
And if Kyle has a pretty awkward start, can't put together those combos, then we could potentially just see Caleb cruise to victory without needing to worry about running out of Arceus. With the draw here, we see a rare candy in hand, going to go for the attachment, keep calling.
Yeah, just attaching, keep calling right away. Keep calm and keep calling, grabbing a few different Sobbles out of the deck. That's the only Rapid Strike Pokemon that Kyle plays, the basic Rapid Strike Pokemon. So as long as not too many are prized, I don't think we saw any in there, right? So
no.
Should be able to grab all 3 out, and that'll be plenty of shady dealings to be had on the next turn.
Taking a deep look once again, formulating that strategy, and hopefully, you know, Kyle can pull off a few more of those stylish combos that they showed off in game 1 to try to take down this second game and take us to a game 3. 20 minutes left on the clock here in Swiss round 9, but Caleb is hopefully, you know, feeling pretty good. After taking that first game, even though there are a couple Arceus V missing, you're still just sticking true to your guns, and the prophecy is fulfilled. The scoop up net comes through with the Moltres.
There it is.
To promote the Arceus V, and now Marnie to disrupt any potential Drizzles that Kyle was counting on to set up for the next turn.
And Caleb here is looking for Arceus V-Star. That is the main piece. Would love to find the energy card as well, so you didn't have to utilize Starbirth right away necessarily. We'll drop the hand a little bit, but looks like we are all good. 5 cards there drawn. And yeah, needs to find the Ultra Ball or a Evolution Incense, or how about just the Arceus V-Star right away?
Beautiful.
Perfect.
So now we have the Evolution, the attachment for the turn.
And Trinity Nova is online, ready to start taking KOs, and will use the Starbirth first. Can get any 2 cards out of the deck.
Trinity Nova is the attack.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I wonder if Caleb...
Starbirthing. I misspoke.
It's a clear action.
Okay, there could be an issue of maybe Caleb announced Trinity Nova and started to search the deck as opposed to using Starbirth, but Caleb did flip the V-Star marker. It's pretty obvious what the intent was. I have to imagine that's what the question was there from Kyle, so... Yeah, it's all about the intent, and Caleb did flip the V-Star marker, so it's apparent that that is what Caleb was going for.
Right.
Uses Starbirth,
Okay,
can get any 2 cards out of the deck ready to go. Maybe he's going to eye up that other 1 copy of Arceus V that is in the deck. Try to accelerate
Get together Arceus, get that once again set up to pass the baton to it, pass the torch to this. If something should happen to this Arceus V-Star, we have the next attacker in line to keep up that threat versus a deck like Kyle's where you have a lot of synergy, you have a lot of card search, but it comes at the cost of not necessarily having a big threat in play right away the way that Caleb is currently enjoying.
So Caleb has a few options here for this last card. Could just get a research or some other supporter for the next turn. And
I think that was the research there. Learned his lesson from game 1. Didn't want to be left in that awkward spot.
Yeah, game 1, I mean, ended up top decking it, so it ends up working out either way. But yeah, gonna make sure that they've got the option so they're not left with absolutely nothing. And has a Sharon's Care in hand for next turn potentially as well, and that could be really big.
And so for this turn, got a little bit more searching to do. Quick ball, finding more. The Sobble, getting that line.
I guess we won't see Sharon's Care next turn. Discarded there off of the quick ball, and does value getting the Sobble in play, which I think makes sense.
And so Trinity Nova finally used. Since you're already searching through the deck, you're like, oh, by the way, I'm going to grab 3 energy here and put them on my next Arceus.
and will grab 3 energies. Sometimes I feel like it's good to leave energies in the deck whenever you're sitting on stuff like double turbo in hand, which I do believe Caleb has access to in hand, but it does limit your damage output. So it makes sense against a deck like Suicune where you want to be able to reach for those one-hit knockout numbers that you leave yourself with all basic energies on your Arceus.
And we saw, of course, in Game 1 how dangerous it was to damage that Suicune and leave it alive for another round. In order to threaten you with even more damage, another rep of that Blizzard Rondo. So Raihan is going to be the opener here.
Yikes, that is
Kyle.
not a great hand. I believe it's an energy card and then 2 Raihan. That is not ideal. You can set yourself up for some plays.
So now
next
we draw the Drizzile, maybe just thin out those from the deck, get the evolution inset and something. Maybe a quick ball, finish off with the Suicune.
Yeah, I can't pull off an attack here, unfortunately, I don't feel like. So, I mean, it has the Raihan for next turn, theoretically, but by putting the energy on the bench, it feels unlikely that you'll be able to pull off a Raihan since you have to accelerate an energy to use it, and now that 1 energy is going to be on the bench. So
yeah, you would absolutely love to have the Suicune be the receiving Pokemon for that energy. But here comes Drizzile, even though, and this is sort of a little bit of what happened in Game 1, where Kyle was on the back foot, things looked really dire, but with enough finesse, with enough shady dealing, some backroom deals going on, greasing some palms, was able to make some good turns happen, really bring it back. But we'll see what the extent of the deck search is going to look like here in Game 2. The player's already down to only 15 minutes here in round 9, so things are very similar to what we'd see in like a Mew deck, where there's so much draw and so much search going on that you're shuffling and shuffling and shuffling, and it eats up a lot of time. So Caleb taking advantage of every opportunity here to very quickly play and try to close out here in Game 2 rather than going to a tie.
I really like this decision from Caleb. Throw the double turbo energy onto the Sobble and discard the Arceus V. You don't need more Arceus V this game. You've got 2 set up. You just need to find the other V-Star at some point. Now putting this energy on the Sobble creates a pivot for you in the late game, a way to send up something after a KO and manually retreat into another Pokemon, giving you that extra switch option. So good recognition from Caleb, and yeah, smart decision there.
And as I'm looking at the board, I see, you know, with Kyle with a bunch of single prize Pokemon in play, and Caleb trying their best to set up a wide variety of things to pivot to and certain resources to prepare for further rounds. But I'm wondering if you want to just start wailing on Kyle's board. Just attack, take prizes, pressure this bench, and just try to get the prizes there. Because if a Suicune never shows up, you maybe don't have enough time to even take enough prizes to truly win.
Evolution Incense can grab the Arceus from the deck, getting 2 V-Star into play. And it'll be a quick 2-prize lead for Caleb Olson.
Yeah, there's really nothing else that you want to do from this position, right? You've got the backup and the backup.
And this is smart. Caleb had extra Pokemon in hand, had a Sobble he could have put down, had a quick ball to go get another Pokemon, but recognizes that I can't do that. If I get another Sobble, if I put more Pokemon in play, that opens up my Arceus to being one-hit KO'd by Suicune. So great foresight there from Caleb Olson.
And if you force so much more pressure onto Kyle in order to fill up their bench and find every single specific piece with the Ludicolo and the Choice Belt in order to get that potential just a 2-hit KO,
yeah, the choice,
you're buying yourself way more time.
A full bench plus a Choice Belt would get there for
no big
Kyle.
charms yet.
Yes, so it's a lot to ask, though, is the thing. And your setup is so
especially with
weak.
how clunky it's been, very sluggish, especially from an Inteleon line deck. This is rare to see.
I'm kind of surprised that Kyle sent up the Drizzile. I was expecting the Sobble to come active so that Kyle could retreat the energy off in order to play the Raihan and then go with the Evolution Incense and just kind of play from there. Shady Dealings can grab 2 trainer cards. Let's see what this is going to get. Net is one option.
Up net, very interesting. Gets to pull that Inteleon back out of the active. I hope you'd like to find you've got to find a Suicune first, right, at the very least.
Yeah, has to get a Suicune. Also needs to get a water energy in the discard pile. With no water in the discard, you cannot play the Raihan. The very first part of the card says if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's turn, attach a or a basic energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, and then if you do all of that, then you can search your deck for any card. So it's not like just a free deck search after a KO. You have to accelerate the energy.
Kyle thinking very deeply about what the next trainer card is going to be. We thought the Scoop Up Net was going to be an option, but it looks like Rare Candy plus something else. Is it going to be a last-minute decision change?
Yeah, can Scoop Up Net to use Shady Dealings once again. Okay, so what you could do is Scoop Up Net, pick up the active, send up the Sobble that has the energy on it, and then play Rare Candy, get it into play, grab Capacious Bucket with Shady Dealings, and then you can get your energy attachment.
Okay.
And then also get a research, something like that, to just set up and try to draw more. And what you can do by using Aqua Bullet this turn is you put Arceus V-Star in range of being KO'd by Suicune without having to use Ludicolo. And you also put 20 damage on the Arceus V-Star on the bench, making it easier to be KO'd in the future with a Ludicolo play.
That is brilliant, honestly. and Kyle, especially, going this far into the Swiss rounds, based on the plays we saw in Game 1, no doubt is seeing this line, but just needs to execute.
Yeah, I think wants to use the Raihan, most likely. So Scoop Up Net is going to pick up the active and then discard the water energy. So not going to worry about going with like a research or something like that, like I would have maybe thought we would see, but we'll still be able to Rare Candy, use the Raihan, and pull off the Aqua Bullet attack this turn. Pretty nice, sequencing, and that's what this deck is all about. You have to sequence things properly in order to pull off plays like this, and Kyle is making it happen.
And we get the Shady Dealings first, of course, to draw 2 more trainer cards.
Yep.
Trying to set up for the next round. Maybe we'll have that research in your back pocket. Looking for the big play. Going to pick up a Rare Candy as well to set up for a potential Ludicolo.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually pretty nice that it looked awkward at first that Suicune had not hit the field yet, but I think that the Inteleon kind of setting up for it to come down with a key Raihan play with the Melanie. It's very easy to just equip that Suicune once it finally comes down.
Yeah, I totally agree. Raihan can grab an energy from the discard, throw it onto Inteleon, and now any single card from Kyle's deck can be added to the hand. And I'm interested to see what Kyle will opt for. Could grab out the Suicune, throw it onto the bench so you have that promotion option, but the risk of doing that is that now you've put a target in play for your opponent to just boss's orders. So we probably won't see Kyle doing that, but it just forces Kyle to find one more piece next turn, needing to find something like a, needing to find a switching card, right?
Yeah, the Sobbles and the Shady Dealings have been pretty exhausted at this point. It's difficult to be able to consistently get that search from this position after you've exhausted so much on this turn to set up for the next one. But it looks like the pulls from Shady Dealings are Capacious Bucket and...
No, this is the Raihan card. So Raihan will just...
Still looking for Raihan, huh?
Yeah. Going to use the
Capacious Bucket for the 2 water energies.
Okay. Has already attached this turn, but just has those pieces set up now. Has Quick Ball in hand, which
we see a Melanie as well.
Yep.
So we can Quick Ball one of the water energies away.
Yeah, I think if Kyle's going with this line, maybe they're considering putting Suicune in play, but yeah, I think you have to hold off on it, and it looks like that's what Kyle's decided to do since the deck is being shuffled, so we will not see any Quick Balls most likely.
This is probably the best line that Kyle has to try to take down this game too, but so much time has already been eaten by having to set up such a circuitous plan. And there it is, the Aqua Bullet coming through. 120 damage to the active and then 20 damage to the Arceus on the bench. And now things are back in Caleb's court. And this is where, again, that mental just clock you naturally have of the Swiss rounds. You're like, okay, I know that we're kind of running low on time. Am I just going to juice this up? Do I want to go for some big combo, or do I want to just smack this Inteleon?
Yeah, and Caleb has a Judge in hand, and I would love to see that Judge played. Your opponent just put a Quick Ball and a Melanie in hand, which you saw because you get to see the cards they grab with Shady Dealings. So by disrupting that hand, you're going to cut them off of having the option to attack with the Suicune next turn, most likely, unless they have a crazy draw off of the Judge.
Retreating away with the double turbo energy to put the other Arceus in the active,
and
attaching
another one. Yes, that is one of the great pieces of double turbo energy. It gives you that 2 energy requirement for just 1 energy attachment, but it also becomes a very nice retreat
And
option.
there's the judge.
Nope, that is the Clara.
Is that? Hang on.
Yes.
I got to get my eyes checked. The Clara is coming through.
Yeah, grabs the Clara, can grab a couple of Pokemon back from the discard pile, and actually can put Inteleon in play with its quick shooting ability and start to pressure some of these low HP Pokemon on the bench. Force Kyle to maybe play something like a Ludicolo a turn earlier than you'd maybe like previously, so that, you know, you force them to evolve quickly. Otherwise, it could just be a quick KO.
And we saw it in game 1, where having that quick shooting working in tandem with your natural attack for that turn allows you to take a ton of prizes all at once.
Yep.
So just going to get that swing in, 1 more prize in the hand. Things are back at Kyle, but we've got 3 Lotad and a Sobble versus 2 Arceus V-Star and an Inteleon.
Yes, but 260 HP remaining on the Arceus V-Star. So you need to deal, you need to get a Ludicolo in play to boost your damage by 100, and then you need to deal 160 more damage. So that's 7 Pokemon in play on both players' benches, and the base 20 from Blizzard Rondo. So if Kyle can get 1 more basic Pokemon, Rare Candy, Ludicolo, and a switching card, that's the knockout.
That's the knockout and the dream.
Yep.
Kyle trying to make the miracle happen here. Quick Ball brings the Suicune down.
Has Melanie in hand. Would love to draw a basic Pokemon here. Would also love to draw the pieces to try to Rare Candy into
1.
Ludicolo.
Cape of Toughness.
There's
Ludicolo.
Ludicolo.
And a Capture Energy.
Capture Energy does get the basic Pokemon, and Shady Dealings can get the Rare Candy for that Ludicolo. I think we just saw Kyle pull it off, and that Cape of Toughness is a huge draw as well, since that puts so much more HP on the Suicune, making it difficult for Trinity Nova to pick up a KO.
5 minutes left in this round. Going to pick up the Shaman.
Thinking about it.
Reconsidering. Doesn't want to put another 2-prizer into play, maybe?
It's risky, but you might have to at this point. I think you've exhausted all of your Sobbles. We know there's the 3 Lotads in play. So it's got to be either the Suicune or the Shaman. Which one is potentially going to be more useful? Kyle thinks that it's Suicune at this point.
Yeah, again, when your back is against the wall, you're down 3 prizes, you're down a whole game in the best of 3. Every single decision you make has so much riding on it. Puts the Suicune in play. There's the Shady Dealings, looking for that final piece, as you said. Needs that Rare Candy for the Ludicolo.
And has Scoop Up Net in hand, picks up this Drizzile, can reset it, and we'll see a 160 damage Blizzard Rondo, boosted 100 more by Enthusiastic Dance for a 1-hit knockout on Arceus V-Star. Well, I guess not quite a 1-hit knockout, right, because of that little 20 damage poke from the Aqua Bullet earlier, but you can see how crucial that extra 20 damage really was. If that extra 20 damage was not there, Kyle would miss this KO.
And here it is, the Scoop Up Net. Sobble comes back down. Cape of Toughness is in the hand.
Fleet-footed draws 1 more card. And Cape of Toughness, a huge drop. And with that Rare Candy into Ludicolo, Blizzard Rondo deals 160 plus 100, 260 total. Picks up the KO on Arceus V-Star. 2 prizes to Kyle.
2 prizes to Kyle, and that means a little bit of a mounted victory is about to go. 4 minutes left on the clock, however. Caleb is in just a stone's throw from the victory in this best of 3, reconsidering sending up the other Arceus.
Goes with the Inteleon instead. It sounds like time has been called for the rest of the players, so these players are on a little bit of a different timer, but yeah, they have to be aware that the time is winding down. If this game ends with a victory for Kyle, this match, this win in would end in a tie. So Caleb has got to be feeling the pressure here. How can they navigate this situation in order to come out on top?
Yeah, you've really got to put your foot on the pedal.
Yes.
And start swinging in. But now that we've got this, before it seemed so easy, right? There's a bunch of baby Pokemon across the board from me. I'm just going to start sniping them down with the quick shooting. But now we've got Mama Suicune coming through with the Cape of Toughness, ready to defend her children on the bench.
Yeah, protecting, having a little higher HP. Something that's really tough for Caleb is that they chose not to bench Sobbles in previous turns.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is they're playing around the boosted damage of Blizzard Rondo. But by not putting Sobbles in play, you're not going to have access to Shady Dealings on the following turns. So now you have way less abilities to make plays, and you've already used that Starbirth V-Star power, so you're just left to whatever you have in hand to try to make something happen.
And without Path to the Peak, having Suicune in play now for Kyle means that Fleet-Footed is going to start giving them more and more and more resources to kind of pivot and potentially bring this back. And Caleb, if they are out of things to do, this could just be a quick pass, and then Kyle is also ready to just crack right back in with another Blizzard Rondo.
Something interesting we could see from Caleb is a boss's orders onto the Sobble and bring it up and then use Waterfall, the attack on Inteleon. It costs 2 colorless energy and deals 70 damage. But with the double turbo, that's minus 20 to 50. But you have quick shooting in order to add a little extra damage. And that's the exact play we're going to see from Caleb. All right, I like it. This takes that one prize. And now all you need to do to win the game is find a way to knock out a Suicune to take your final prizes.
All right, so quick shooting and the Waterfall. It did come through, Chip, and gets a boss's orders. This
Huge
sets
prize.
it up.
And so now if Kyle pulls off a boss's orders and knocks out the Arceus, Caleb has boss's orders in hand with a Moltres as well. And if there's enough energy in hand, you can power up the Moltres and get a bunch of damage off with Fiery Wrath.
And so with a couple Lotad in play, Ludicolo maybe trying to get boosted once more. And again, this Arceus V-Star that's injured, that's on the bench, you know, is also a very juicy target for prizes. You just need to get a knockout this turn, right? You need to set yourself up, I think. But would you prefer to take down the Arceus V-Star right now when it seems most appropriate? Or
you're just going to knock out the active. Goes with it, picks up the KO, and this actually plays around the Fiery Wrath a little bit, which is kind of funny because you're making it so your opponent cannot do the boosted damage. They're only with Fiery Wrath dealing 170 right now, which is not enough to win the game. So Caleb could still win with a boss's orders plus a choice belt. There's the choice belt, and the boss's orders was taken off the prize last turn.
Yes.
Caleb has it. Boss's orders brings up one of those Suicune on the bench. Choice belt boosting the damage, and Trinity Nova deals 210 exactly. Caleb Olson has won the match and earned their way into day 2.
Right as the clock was winding down in round 9, able to pull it all together. Both players did a wonderful job of piloting around what their potential outs could be. Time and time again, Kyle was in such an awkward spot and was just using this, you could really tell the deep knowledge and mastery of that deck to pull off these